Hey insiders, this is an exclusive video that I will not be releasing anywhere else, but this is how to build a cryptocurrency portfolio for faster growth. I just released one on YouTube just now for beginners. Definitely review the portfolio build for beginners because many of you guys that have joined Insider recently, I know that you guys are still getting familiar with the 50-25-25 rule. And even those that are not new, as you've seen with the last correction that we had, it is important to have Bitcoin to be a staple and a hedge within your portfolio. With that said, I know that there are many of you guys that's been an insider for a while, and or have been trading cryptocurrencies for a long time, even before joining. So I know, and I know that many of you guys that are within Slack daily, you guys are helping each other and learning, and you're watching me on the daily videos. So, I'm a little hesitant on releasing these new portfolio builds, but I feel like some of you guys are ready for it, so I want to show you guys something new for that will help you with faster growth. Keep in mind, okay, with these kind of portfolio builds for faster growth, your risk tolerance goes way up, okay? So if you are not experienced at handling losses, okay, which some of you guys have pretty much quit after this last correction because you weren't able to handle the type of losses, right? So if you're one of those people that are not ready to take on more losses and you're not familiar with how to, appropriately take out profits and know appropriately how to cost average down when need to, then you should definitely not follow these portfolios. Okay, these builds, and I'm going to show you two of them. They're both more meant for, no, they are meant for more experienced traders. Ones that you know what they pretty much know what they're doing. They know exactly when to take profits. Okay, they know how to take things off the table and lock in profits. They know how to use those profits to cost average when we do have downturns or corrections. Okay, I'm talking about people that, what, if they see their portfolio go down 30%, 40%, 50% in a week, they're not going to freak out. They can handle it because they know that it's a gift. They can cost average, or they can get in on things that were too expensive to begin with. So I just want to say that before we get started. Please, as an insider, just because you're an insider now does not mean that you're ready for these, okay? I still stress that most people can have really, really good growth and minimize risk with the 50-25-25 rule, okay? But I do want to present these as options for those that feel like they are ready. Okay, so let's get started. So the 40-40-20 rule, and I've mentioned this a couple times, but I'm going to go a little bit more in detail and kind of explain why. So in the 40-40-20 setup, you're reducing Bitcoin down to 40%. Okay, so in this case, Bitcoin still is the staple and the hedge against your altcoins, right? So Bitcoin goes up, it gets pumped, it's good. If altcoins go down, Bitcoin still helps reduce losses on your portfolio. So 40% in Bitcoin is still good. Now let me explain the 40% in big caps and 20% in low caps. As you guys have seen, big caps are no longer slow movers. Okay, they are very fast moving, and sometimes they rotate their growth, right? So 40% in big caps, that's an increase of 15% from the 50-25-25 rule. That makes a big difference. 15% makes a huge difference. Okay, your growth will be much higher So if you populate your big caps appropriately with Ripple or NEM or NEO or even Tron, if you're populating your portfolio with those high flyer big caps, they will definitely move, okay? But it doesn't come without risk, as we've seen. Sometimes they go too fast and they come down. Okay, so you don't want to only populate with the fastest growing big caps. You want to average that and even it out with things like Ethereum and Litecoin, right? And possibly IOTA. I mean, they are pretty much like rocks, right? They come down, but they always come back up, and they're not slow by any means. Okay, Dash, Monero, those are included in the category, right? And I mentioned, if you look at big caps, their growth always rotates. Sometimes they might not move for weeks or months, okay? And you might get frustrated, but trust me when I tell you this, big caps are for the most part holds. You hold it, and when the growth comes to you and rotates to that big cap, it will explode 100%, 200%, 300% in a very, very, very short time. Okay, we have seen that with Ethereum, we have seen that with Litecoin, we have seen that with NEM, we have seen that with Ripple, IOTA. It goes on and on and on with big caps, right? So if you're holding on a lot of big caps, 40%, and you're wondering why some of them are not moving and you're getting frustrated and you want to break out of it, don't hold them. They will move once it rotates to them, okay? Now the 20 rule, okay? The 20 portion with the low caps. Now, obviously the low caps is for extreme growth, okay? We're talking about coins that can triple. It could go 4x, 5x, 10x, 20x. It can go up, okay? Because you're only populating your portfolio with 20% of these low caps. In this cases, I actually recommend that you would populate the 20% more with moonshot potential coins than slower growing coins, okay? And let me explain that a little better. So many of the coins I've recommended, not that they're slow, they're low caps. They have huge potential in terms of they could double or triple very quickly. But in terms of them moonshotting to 10x, not all of them have that potential. Okay, at least not the short term, and short term meaning up to 6 months. Okay, anything past 6 months has the huge potential to grow 10x. But in terms of the short term, between now and the next 6 months, some of them will have a harder time to moonshot than others, simply because of where they are already, because due to their market cap or due to the number of circulating coins, it's going to hold them back a little bit, right? But there are some coins that I have mentioned, great potential coins that have moonshot potential within the next few months. So I recommend populating the low caps, okay, with mostly moonshot potential coins. Now I'm not talking about populating with bad coins like Patcoin, Mooncoin, those kind of coins. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the moonshot coins that I have been recommending to you guys, right? That really have a huge amount of potential, and I will show you on a slide later on. Okay, so that's the 40-40-20 rule. It's moderate growth. You might be thinking, well, 40-40-20 is not that much different from the 50-25-25 rule. Trust me, it is. The 15% extra on big caps make a big difference. And the 20% rule, the 20% in low caps, I'm recommending you guys to put more of that on the bigger moonshot potential coins, because when they do, they will carry your portfolio. Trust me, that 20% will almost become like a 200% if any of them actually grow and moonshot, okay? That I've seen that countless times. All right, so moving on. This is something that I never revealed before. This is for extreme growth. This is only to be used by seasoned traders. If you're not a seasoned trader, you're not an experienced trader, and you don't know what you're doing, following this, you are risking yourself in a big way. You can take extreme losses by following this, okay? So do only consider this if you really, really know what you're doing. You have a track record of being, how do I say it, being patient, being able to take profits out, being able to cost average down, being able to sit through long periods of correction time, okay? So we're talking about only if you're ready for that. All right, so in this portfolio build, the 20-40-40 rule, 20 you now have 20% in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is no longer a hedge or staple in your Bitcoin in your portfolio. Really, the only reason why you have 20% in Bitcoin is it is going to be used for cost averaging. Okay, at this point, at 20% of your portfolio, when Bitcoin goes up or down, it's not really going to affect your portfolio that much anymore. But it's important to have that much in case there's a correction, and you can use that to rebuy and cost average things down. That's the only reason to hold a Bitcoin at this point. Okay. Now you're still seeing 40% in big caps, and then you're seeing 40% in low caps. Okay, so for most part, big caps doesn't really change. From the 40-40-20 rule, the big caps is still the same. You buy and hold big caps. They will grow. They will help you grow, and they'll also fall slower than low caps. Okay, now with low caps, you have 40% of your portfolio in low caps. Okay, and I just talked about with the 44-20 rule, I said you want to populate most of the 20% with moonshot potential coins. In this case, since your portfolio is 40% in low caps, I recommend a mix between coins with great potential and moonshot coins. I would say 50-50%, but it's up to you guys to decide how you want to balance it. Okay, and when I say in this case great potential, that means coins that's 2x, 3x, 4x potential, 5x potential. Moonshot coins being 10x, 20x potential coins. Okay, so this doesn't seem like it's rocket science, but trust me, 20-40-40% really should only be used by seasoned traders that know what they're doing and can handle it. When there's a correction like we saw in the last week, this have killed people. It has pretty much destroyed people to the point where they want to get out of cryptocurrency trading. Okay, I have had insiders tell me that. Okay, this is no joke, and I have sat through this before too. This is extremely painful in a correction. Okay, you have to know how to handle pressure. You have to know how to hold, and you know what? A week of downturn is nothing. I have sat through downturns where it has lasted weeks or months, okay? And those are extremely, extremely painful. So again, I do not want you guys to follow this rule unless you are ready for it, okay? Moving on, so recommendations, okay? And most of you guys that follow me this already know this. In terms of the 40-40-20 rule or 20-40-40 rule, the big caps, you guys know what the big caps are, okay? But I'm excluding Ethereum Classic and Bitcoin Gold because I just don't see them having any potential. As of right now, while I'm making this video, they are not big caps. They are not above $5 billion. But I know that maybe within the next month or so, they can be, okay? So in terms of populating your portfolio of big caps, you can populate any of the ones that's above 5 billion except Ethereum Classic and Bitcoin Gold. Okay, now I talked about low caps being 3x to 5x potential and moonshot potential coins. Some of you guys might be confused on what type of coins they are, so I've listed a few. This is not all of them by any means. There's a lot more. Okay, so low caps that have a tremendous potential. Tron really is a big cap, low cap, but I put in a low cap for now. Tron, Icon, Omisgo, Binance Coin, Loopring, Basic Attention Coin, Raiden, Poet, etc. Okay, so those are the coins. They're already very high, but they have huge amount of potential. But because their market cap is so high already, it's unlikely for them to have moonshot potential within the next 6 months. Low caps that have moonshot potential, these are the ones I've been recommending recently. Things like Tokes, Ethlen, Wabi, Nulls, Ido, Lunar. Okay, and there's more, but I think these are enough. A lot of people I know are very excited by like Nulls and Wabi. And then I'm very excited about, like Ido and Tokes that not many people are in, but these are considered moonshot potential coins, and there's a lot more, and I'll be introducing a lot more. Okay, so don't think this is the only list. Obviously, if you guys are insider, you're talking with each other, you're talking with me, you know that this is not the end all be all list. Okay, so next steps. Even though you guys are insider, you guys know this already. Okay, I'm just going to review some of these basic stuff. Continue to watch. Okay, even though you have these portfolio builds, continue to watch me on the daily Bitcoin cryptocurrency news. I'm always changing that. I'm going to start changing the format a little bit more. I'm going to start concentrating on some of these coins specifically so that that you guys learn more from them. And I cover some coins that I haven't made recommendation for, right? So as you guys know, I've changed my format so the picks only come once a week. But throughout the weeks, I find many coins, especially on my live sessions now. People are asking me to look at things, and it's making me kind of accelerate my search for coins, which is good. But definitely watch it and get ideas. And of course, use Slack to your advantage and talk with your fellow insiders and see what their thoughts are and start talking, right? You can find other coins without me that have moonshot potential or just regular potential too. Definitely use the recommendation board. Whatever I listed under recommendations was just a small fraction of everything that was on recommendation board, and I will be populating that more and more as time goes on. So soon I will be releasing 2 new videos about trading strategies for both beginners and faster growth. So the beginners one I will release on YouTube. Again, the faster growth one will be exclusive to Insider. So when I release those, you definitely want to check out those videos. So some of the things I mentioned about taking profits and cost averaging, they are part of strategy that I will be mentioning in the video along with other strategies. Now, the last thing I want to mention, kind of like just to get you guys excited. I know a lot of you guys are asking about ICOs, and I haven't been concentrating on ICOs. I do think that as a seasoned trader, as one that wants to see faster growth or more growth, one of the ways to do that and not go too crazy with your portfolio build is to mix in some ICOs. These ICOs are relatively safe. You can get invested in an ICO. You wait a few months until it gets traded on exchange, and most of the time they don't go down. Sometimes they go down due to the pre-sales and discounts and stuff like that, but a lot of times they actually hold very well and then go up. So something that both Miles and I are thinking about doing is to add an ICO board, something that we will populate all the popular ICOs and give recommendations on them. All right, so that I believe is coming up, so stay tuned for that. But I am going to suggest that you guys are interested in ICOs that want to expand beyond just investing in the current coins out there. It's not a bad idea. But I will say this, don't get into ICOs just because you think you'll get a 100x return. Of course, that is possible, but ICOs these days are a little bit different than the ones that were earlier in the year of 2017. ICO these days, companies are a lot smarter and trickier, okay? Meaning that they price their tokens much higher than before, okay? You're not seeing a company like Ethereum that's pricing their tokens at 40 cents. You know, you're seeing some of these companies price their tokens at $1 or even $1.50, and they're also playing a lot more games with circulating supply and stuff like that, and they do brilliant marketing, yet they have no product. So just be warned that investing in ICO is not guaranteed by any stretch of imagination, right? So you're not guaranteed to get 100% gains or 100x gains, and there's no guarantee that you will see any gains for a while. Okay, there's many ICOs that I covered in the last few months that simply has not moved once it got traded into exchanges. So just be careful of that. But I feel like if you guys are ready for the 40-40-20 rule or the 20-40-40 rule, and you don't want to go beyond that, right? You don't want to risk more by leveraging more into small caps and stuff like that, then mixing in ICOs is not a bad idea. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Definitely watch out and stay tuned for the 2 other videos I will be releasing soon. All right, bye-bye.